We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast. And I have an amazing host with me today. I have Megan from South Africa. I have Melissa from Texas. And I have Chinere from Los Angeles. However, I'm sorry, California, but she is all over the place. Her heart is in Nigeria. And I'm Carol Witt, and I'm the founder and director for YEA Global. We just went into 62 countries, and I live in Florida. So we have an amazing guest today, and her name is Margaret Barrie, and we are very excited to hear her story. We already heard just a tiny bit, and I cannot wait for her to share with us. So Margaret, come and join us and share your story with us.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm looking forward to celebrating women together.
Oof. That was a great start. Go for it.
So, I'm going to give you a brief history.
Okay.
Started life out as a dietitian because I, at a very young age, realized that the whole story about what the body is doing is recreating itself all the time. And if we do not give quality, we cannot produce quality. So the whole, ethos behind diet is much more about, oh, I've put on a pound, I've got to lose this sort of thing. It really is about recreation over and over and over. So quality in produces quality that we can then give out again. So I feel very passionate about that. I became a mother fairly soon after I qualified, and because I am an eternal learner, what I did was I was learning by correspondence at the same time as suckling babies and cooking for people and, the things one does. And by the time my children had grown up and moved on to their own lives, I went to Seattle and I qualified as a counseling psychologist at Antioch. Spent a couple of years in Seattle, kind of really just getting the feel of the culture and obviously learning a great deal. And I then put the two professions together in a way because, the diet was always part of what I expected people to be supported with in terms of their emotional journey as well, because what you eat affects your moods, whether we like it or not. It is not, again, about just putting on weight. It is about feeding the body so that it can be formed. I came back to South Africa and I set up private practice as a counseling psychologist and worked for about 25 years in that sphere. And then I heard about Gallup's Clifton, so I certified as a coach in CliftonStrengths. And you can see how everything is about how we help ourselves be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Yeah. Analogies. One of my favorite is that if we are an instrument in an orchestra and we don't caretake our instrument and we don't keep it well tuned, we're going to make a horrible noise. Is all about caretaking ourselves, looking after ourselves to the best of our ability so that we can relate and engage with everybody with whom we come into contact. So the strengths assessment is about understanding our unique profiles. And again, it's something I feel very strongly about. You know, we don't go to dinner parties and say, my fingerprints are so much nicer than yours. We totally accept that they are unique. We don't go into comparison mode at all. And so the whole understanding behind the Clifton Strengths is, how do I bring who I am to all the arenas in which I play my role, so that I can contribute from that uniqueness and engage and incorporate all who are there. It's not a competition. Life is not a competition. It's about collaboration.
Mm.
So I feel that
Favorite word.
Yes.
Well, you can see how it was a natural movement on from my other qualifications. I have most recently done another certification, and that is in a field called physical intelligence. And it is about understanding how we can, through movement, alter our internal biochemistry, calm down the aggression or whatever else it is that is troubling us, and enhance the feel-good, bonding, socially bonding chemicals.
Mm.
And if we can share the joy, you know, I have sung in choirs for most of my life, and it is a shared experience. Every voice is adding their uniqueness, but it comes together under a good director so that it makes great music. So, oh, and by the way, I'm a great grandmother. So I'm going to see my 2-year-old great grandson next week in Durban. So I'm very excited about that.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Wow. Wow. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Because you have a little more time.
What I really would like to share is that it's so easy for us to wait for approval from the outside world.
Mm.
And so one of the most powerful things is to, you know, all the courses and learnings that I've done is I almost felt I've been led to them. And it's that ability to kind of hear what the universe is saying to us, and having the courage to trust and go with what the universe guides us to do.
Very great. Really, really great. So does anybody have questions for her? I have one for you, Margaret. So,
Yes.
you know, you have been led. You've been led to many different things in your life. What is the one thing that, like, like it is so you, Margaret? What is the one thing in your life that is so you, that you've been led to, that you are so happy that you found it, that it became your direction? What's the one thing? You've done many things. So what is the one thing for you?
The one thing that for me is really powerful is we are a collective on this world, that we can fight each other and we can, you know, do that. It's not going to take us on a growthful journey. And whether we're talking about growing in height or growing in anything else, if we're not growing all the time, then I fail to see what the purpose of life is really about. Because our age, there's always somebody who's going to be younger and less than, and I put that in inverted commas, There are always going to be people who are more than and that we will look up to. It's a never-ending process. So that's finding our place and being able to manifest and give our uniqueness to anybody that we come into contact with.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because that is the truth. Guys, as women, we bring our own specialness. We
Yes.
bring our own specialness. Uh, and if you weren't here, Megan, if you weren't here, we wouldn't have that Megan specialness.
Yes.
Melissa, same thing for you. Same thing for you, Jenna, and same thing for you, Maria. We bring our own specialness, and you just brought your own specialness to our platform. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sharing yourself.
Thank you. There's one other thing that I really want to celebrate with you.
Yes.
I have two daughters, and when they were in their teens, I mean, it was like World War III, you know. They never agreed with anything. It was awful. Today, as of beginning of last year, the three of us meet every single week, exchange support for each other, guides, you know, and it's equal. I'm not mum. I'm mum to everybody on all the platforms that we meet on. But the fact of the matter is, I love watching the way they are supporting each other, you know, and encouraging. And
Oh,
I love the word encouragement, by the way, because, you know, the root of the word is courage, which is about the heart.
mm,
Is that encourage? We literally breathe life into, and through the heart, we connect.
so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Okay, we have some people that have their hands up. Megan, go ahead.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you, Margaret, for sharing with us. I just knew we were going to enjoy this space with you today. And I absolutely have to tell you again that I so enjoy listening to your philosophies that you mentioned and that you live by, because I think the one thing that I learned in this short period of time that you and I know each other, and something that I also advocate for, is that eternal learning, that perpetual learning, just instilling that love for learning in our youth, in my case in particular, but people in general. So I absolutely love the fact that we've got so much to talk about, and I must just put this out there for anyone who doesn't realize what the Gallup Strengths Assessments are about. I had a business coach and friend do the Gallup's assessment with me about 4 years. It was about a year and a half after I started my first business in 2020. And for that first year, I was just swimming around, trying to find direction, trying to figure out which way to go. And when he did the Gallup's assessment with me, it was a complete game changer. And I still use elements of it when I do my mentoring and my coaching with my youth now, because it was such a reinforcing factor for me in my space. And Margaret, I want to ask you, in terms of anyone who is looking at bringing together all of those passions, I'm known for that. Absolutely digging for golden threads to pull together so that everything aligns and works in synchronicity in your space. I see you are a little genius at that as well. And just for me, I found that being yourself, being grounded within yourself, as you say, is a huge part of that. And just finding yourself and actually embracing who you are and then moving forward is such a big part of that. Is there anything else you can tell our audience who's listening in and watching in respect of that space of just self-awareness and being grounded in yourself? Please.
Thank you for asking that question. For me, the most important thing is that the better we know ourselves, the more confidence we have in putting our gifts into the world. Because I do see our strengths as being the gifts that we've been endowed with from birth, and that nobody else is going to have. I mean, they say actually, Gallup says that for anybody to have the top 5 of 34 exactly the same will happen 1 in 33 million people. You're not going to meet them next door.
Absolutely. Thank you,
I
Margaret.
love that. I love that. Okay, Chinere, what's your question? Go for it.
That was powerful. There's I mean, Margaret, thank you so much. Um, Absolutely, age is a number, but knowledge is wealth.
Ooh.
And I have so much. I think beginning with your first statement, be the better version of yourself, which states a lot for me because in life and in all that we do, when you try to change someone else when you can't change yourself, it is difficult.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then you also mentioned coming as your authentic self, because being authentic plays a key role when people believe in you.
Mm.
They're able to open up and share whatever they have. And then, of course, smiling and laughing. For me, I always tell people laughter is a free Botox because it keeps you grounded. And then, of course, looking for approval from other people. That alone diminishes who you are, the talent that you bring to the table, and that is where I came up with teaching knowing yourself worth, who you are, and what you bring to the table. But I think for me, the two key things that I'm taking away today, and I would like you to elaborate a little bit, is you said collaborative. Collaboration is why we are all here, right? Because no matter how much knowledge we have, education is everyday evolving. Because when you are here right now, I've already learned so much from you. And just even growing up within a household of all boys and being the only girl, and then having girls and then watching them get along. But my thing is encouragement. Encouragement. Because in our program, we encourage people to bring out their talent. Come and share your story. How do you use encouragement to educate other people?
Ooh.
That's a biggie. As I said, the root of the word encouragement is around the heart. And because we are so educated to use only our heads, and we need to have that combination between the head and the heart. And there are ways, by the way, to encourage it. Literally, hand on the heart and speak your truth.
Mm,
It's not coming from here, it's coming from here. So it's authentic. It's not trying to impress anybody. I got a first class, aren't I? I did it because my heart was in it. And what I could then do with this also uses the heart, because we don't, I mean, I think a lot of people work to earn a living. Far more important for me is to actually encourage others to show up at their best and feel confident doing that. They don't have to brag, and they don't have to, have alleluias or anything like that. It's just, this is who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not in competition with you.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, we have one more question, and that's Melissa. Melissa, come join us.
Thank you. Um, Margaret, I can completely relate when you said that you weren't encouraged towards medicine by your family. And in society and in our families, a lot of the times we're not encouraged towards our passions and our dreams and our goals. And so, the fact that you were able to take that experience and really create this unique individual path for yourself in a way that aligns with those goals towards medicine is just very inspiring. So I acknowledge you for that. I just have a question. Could you tell us a little bit more about the link between the psychology and the health of the physical body? Because that fascinates me.
You know, if we think about it, just let's take the brain as a start. If the brain is fed too much sugar, it cannot actually operate optimally. It's all over the place, and it's, and it's really difficult to channel it. So that's a very simple example of how the two actually connect. And really, as far as eating, as I said originally, we eat to renew and to replace and to keep this organism going. It is an instrument. And as I said, we cannot play beautiful music if this instrument isn't well tuned and well kept. So the diet is incredibly important. It is also important in terms of how the psychology operates, because people who are hyper defensive, for example, are often not actually caretaking the instrument well. So they're needing to defend and, that sort of thing. So the links are actually quite important. We need a whole day for me to really go into that.
And okay, well, oh my goodness.
Thank you.
But you've given us a lot to think about, a lot to seriously, I know you've opened all of our minds to seeing some new things today. So thank you. Thank you for that, Margaret.
Thank you for the invitation. And I will extend anytime anybody wants to connect with me on LinkedIn and enter into a conversation, I'm available.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to give anybody else a chance. And if Maria, do you have a question for Margaret?
I apologize for coming in a little late,
Okay.
but it's inspiring. Even the moments that I have been here, clearly you're doing something along the health line and also to do with diet and so on. And I'm very interested in that, especially from the point of view of looking a little more gaunt than last week. And somebody said to me, what, you've lost more weight. And someone else said, well, actually, it's interesting because in the West, we have an idea what somebody should look like, in terms of their face and the neck and all this kind of thing. And I actually feel very healthy the way I am. And I'm looking at you, Margaret, and I'm thinking, yes, and I can see you're very healthy the way you are. So it's great,
And if I may just quickly chip in, weight and appearance is individual.
Yes.
What's right for one person isn't necessarily right for the other. So there's no one size fits all.
No.
The unique approach which understands how to actually use this instrument. Sorry, I keep coming back to the music because
Oh, it's beautiful. It absolutely is beautiful. I love thinking of my body as an instrument. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That's another thing that you brought to us today.
Yeah.
It's an instrument. Yes. And it can be fine-tuned.
absolutely.
Oh,
And
so
together, instruments make great music.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we're all together.
And Margaret, you made great music today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for the
So guys, wow, what another amazing episode. Please, if you love these episodes, please subscribe to our channel. Share them everywhere so that Margaret's story gets out to everyone. And please, please join us again. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to one of us. We're all over LinkedIn. Please reach out to one of us. You have a story and we want to hear it. And the world is waiting to hear it. So please join us. We do these on Mondays and Fridays every week. And I believe you might be episode 60, Margaret. So
the age.
No, it's not an age. It's a number. And it's episode 60. I do believe we just hit episode 60 today. Wow.
Well, my younger daughter turns 60 in a couple of months. So, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wonderful. So, guys, please join us again. Thank you so much. And, guys, please, let's thrive together. We all deserve to thrive. Let's thrive together. Let's do this together. Let's unite together. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
There's no divide. Peace and love.